In a way, I feel like the modern world isn't necessarily built for artists.
I love aesthetic beauty. Real art has to be ugly and provocative and scary, or some sort of, unconventional,
Full of
crazy, full of pain. Then it's real art. Yeah, and the beauty too. Art is not pure because art is human. Are humans pure? Art is the most human thing.
Hey, you beautiful humans, and welcome back to Creative Ones and Anqor podcast. I remain Chineme Prince, your host. My guest today is Maria. Maria is a grand artist who I just recently been acquainted to, and she has a lot to say. She has a story to tell, and I'm here to bring you that story. Ladies and gentlemen, Maria. How are you, Maria?
Hey, love your face expressions.
Well, when I get into the zone, I have to give a little bit of host vibes and all that.
You're flirting with the camera, I see.
Oh, yes. It's intimate. It's an intimate
No
space.
eyes on me.
Yes. Now it's on you.
Yes.
How are you?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed?
Always.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Why is that?
I have grand visions and too little time in the day,
Interesting.
like 24 hours. How is that? That's not fair.
So you need more. You need more hours in a day.
I need more hours, yes.
Well, that's not possible.
And
though.
maybe 4 more hands, yeah, arms. And probably a couple of more heads as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You think that would be enough?
Because everything is just not fitting in.
Somehow I feel like that wouldn't be enough. Seeing how you operate, I don't think that will still be enough. I think you still need more.
It's probably never going to be enough.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
will just get more ideas and more and more and more.
And it just keeps going on and on and never stops.
Yes.
All right.
I actually write down in my on my phone always my notes, and because it's sometimes you never know when your phone is always with you, but you never know when some ideas come in, and I write down. So, and it's countless ideas, and it scares me every time I open it. It's like all the things to do, and sometimes I right away do some research about this topic that came into my head, and it's like, oh my god, this connected to this, and then I do some research that kind of maybe confirms usually the connections that I made in my head. And so it's like it's so crazy, and it's endless.
Yeah.
And I look at it, when will I ever do this? But it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem. There is this saying that when your dreams scare you, you know you're on the right track. So that's that you're definitely on the right track. So all right. Let me just go back to you a little bit. Your background and stuff. Do you remember the first time you actually touched a paintbrush?
Of course not.
Like, you don't?
No.
Or what's the earliest memory of you holding a paintbrush painting that you have?
Oh my. My mom is a very creative person. So I started before I could remember myself, as most of us did. That's how kids express themselves before they can form words and start, censoring what what to say, what not to say, how to. All that usually goes through painting and drawing for kids. So I started just like everyone else. I just never stopped. Never stopped since then. And my mom encouraged me on that path. And we did a lot of different kind of projects. Everything must be like handmade. I love working with my hands and trying different things, trying different mediums. I'm primarily a painter, but at the same time I do some sculpting, embroidery, lots of different things. Anything. I mean, fixing a table would be an interesting task for me to figure out. I just loved making things happen with my hands. And yes, my mom encouraged me, and my father was a very ambitious person. I think that's what I got it from him, and from my mom I got this dreamy the worlds, like lots of worlds
Yeah.
that you can possibly live in as well. Like the reality is not the only, the material is not the only reality, right? So it's she was a very I mean she's still a very creative person, but when she was younger she was engaging with me in all this crazy, even the first mural we did in our kids' bedroom with my mom. And yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
sounds.
from my family. And then I went to art school for 5 years. And after that, I kind of left it the way, like it's in my, it stays in my hobby as something I had no clue, no idea. Nobody told me. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I grew up in a very small town in the middle of Russia, and very long time ago.
Don't worry, we don't need to tell.
There was no internet. There was no idea that actually there are artists that are living and making art, and that's their full-time occupation. I studied art history for 5 years in the art school, but they never mentioned anything today. It was all history. And in my mind, art was just history, that beautiful world that people kind of engaged um, before, and now it's all sort of, not, you know, more material world sort of, but just didn't even have idea of actually being a painter. I knew that there are designers and there are architects, but the painter, traditional one today, it's like it's a hobby. There is no way, and I always wanted to be independent, and I wanted to travel the world. Now I wanted to be, stand on my feet. So there's no way I could be just, like broke, the, the classic
Rogue artist.
image of broke
Rogue
artists
artist, yeah.
on the street
Yes.
drawing somebody's portrait and like freezing to death on the street. I didn't want that. Yes, so I didn't. I went for my master's for another profession, but art always stayed in my life. I did that for myself. Only close circle of my friends and knew what I do, and I painted my apartment, the whole thing, and the ceiling and everything, and my clothes, and it was always like in my life. And only in Dubai when I came here 7 years ago, and
Vibe's great.
the vibe is great. The vibe is you couldn't do anything.
That's good.
Like you can do anything. I caught this the vibe. Maybe it's delusional, but I like it.
Well, delusion is an artist's best friend. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, you're definitely in the right circle. Were you always talented? I know you talked about, your mom introducing you to the art scene. Were you always talented as an artist, as a kid, or is it something that you had to work towards too? Because I have this notion that sometimes artists, especially when it comes to like painting and sculpting work, you have to be talented to be actually very good at it.
No.
So, were you shaking your head? Let me hear.
I have beef with the word talent, which of course if somebody say you're so talented, and like thank you. In reality, it's countless hours of practice. Actually, recently I posted this quote from Albert Einstein. I am not a particularly specially talented person. I am just passionately curious. So that curiosity and that bravery to go into those unknown fields, the discovery and the possibility of failure are gonna happen 100%, and then you continue because it's just something drives you. But the drive maybe is the talent. but nobody has special abilities. I mean, once in a billion, maybe. Most artists, behind all the galleries, the fancy scenes, and maybe some, huge projects, there are countless hours all by yourself practicing. Countless. When it comes to drawing and painting, 100%. I don't know about other creative fields that much. I think probably as well a lot of dedication. It's like sports almost. You
Yeah.
just go through it again and again and again and again, and it just never, there's always more.
It's true. Like my whole thing about it is, of course, you can work hard at it, but like with talent, if you're talented in a particular art, when you work at it, you become exceptional. But if you're someone that doesn't necessarily have the talent for it, I mean, exceptional probably won't be something that you can hit. It's just the way I see it, anyways.
Yeah, fine art is so subjective. So when you say exceptional, who says?
Well, that's a good way to put that too. It is very, very like that. But what is it like being a full-time artist, especially here in this world? Because in a way, I feel like the modern world isn't necessarily built for artists. You know, you go to school, you graduate, you get a 9 to 5, and artists don't function that way. Artists
Yeah.
don't function in a deadline. You need the time, you need the space to create, because sometimes the inspiration, it comes when you just like years, months after you've started the project, you want to start a project. So how do you survive as a full-time artist in this day and age where it's almost like everything is against you as an artist?
Against the odds?
So it's, yeah,
Yes. You just do it.
just do it.
There's no other option. I believe most of us that decided firmly on their path. There are no other options. And actually, it gives you peace. That when you fully decided that this is your purpose and that's your path, there's no way back. There's no. I'm not going anywhere. There's no. I have to survive, and not only survive, I have to thrive. And I have to inspire others to do so, because I didn't believe that's even possible until I was 30 years old. I know times are different now in World Wide Web, and makes it slightly easier for artists to expose to share their art to a wider audience than before, because fine art used to be so elitist and still is. But now is a little better in that way to reach, to find your audience if you persist.
Yeah.
And you need to work really hard, and you need to work a lot of different jobs,
Yeah.
as you have to market yourself. If you're not lucky to have, I don't know, fund from from your parents or something,
Yeah.
and provide you a marketing person and sales and accountant and everything else, you have to do it yourself. So you have to learn to juggle a lot of professions while being basically running your business, because it's a business, and it's a huge transition. I've been an artist for my whole life, but as a business, I've been doing it. I know a lot of people cringe when they hear art and business at the same time. Oh, it's not. That's it. Purity is gone. There's no. Art is not pure, because art is human. Are humans pure? Art is the most human thing there is. And that's why I believe in such a importance of us continuing inspiring as well the artists that, let's say, struggle, right? They're not struggling for only for themselves. They struggling for the future generations, and we must persist and still bring art into the world. And I believe artists around the world, whether it's poets or all different artistry is a reflection of a society. We can see how it was reflecting us when it's behind us. On the grand scale, when you study art history, you will understand how much this is like the truest history, because history books written by winners, right? But artists in that way is more raw form of expression, documenting us as people, as a society. It's so important that we continue.
That brings me to my next question, which is on the business side of it. Like you spoke clearly about it, being an artist and also doing the business part of it. How do you determine the value of your work? How do you price your work? Because do you do it by yourself, or is there like a body that you have to go through to figure out how much this work costs?
Because the nature of every project or everything, every little thing I work on is unique. So it's very difficult to set the standards. Let's say, oh, this size is this much, and this that doesn't work like that, because you create unique things every time. You just go with your gut. That's my
Go with your gut. That's how you do.
Go with your gut. Yes, yes. Where you feel like, okay, I will not. It will not cost me, because I have expenses, obviously living expenses, and we live in one of the most expensive cities in the world.
It is.
Right, you need to count on that, at least cover your living, breathing expenses, right? And then how you feel, there's no nobody has right process of pricing their artwork. It's up to you. And sometimes when I hear somebody's like, oh, this is too much, some people complain, who this artist think they are, this is too much. What? Why? What do you get to lose? You want it so badly, or because they start usually when people think the price is too high, they start bringing the artwork down because they are not capable of buying it only for that reason. Otherwise, art is not exactly like there's no rule. Price it whatever you want. Whatever you want. Free. It's your work, and it's unique. There's no another one like that in the world. True. Who can say how much it costs? It's not a packet of milk, right? Or it's unique thing.
Yeah.
If you can sell it for whatever, sell it.
Go for it.
If you can sell it for $1 million, sell it for $1 million.
100%.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go for it. I'll go sketch something and then go sell it.
Let's do it.
Some Picasso and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I saw this very intriguing question the other day that said, if money wasn't a problem, everyone would be artists. Do you believe in that?
No.
Yeah?
No, it's not everybody's problem.
Why do you think so?
Because nobody goes to artistry for money, despite the money issue, let's say. People go there.
But I feel like people would be more inclined to pursue artistic adventures, if they didn't have to worry about money.
No, it's not about money. That path chooses you absolutely regardless of reality of the world. Where you live, what do you do, who you are, none of that matters. If you are intended to do that, if that calls you, you just do it. It doesn't even matter how good you are. If it's that's your calling, you gotta do it. But it's not everybody's calling. It's very particular lifestyle, very, very particular mindset. And if you, I believe I've met a lot of artists, and I believe we are little
Coco.
All in our own ways. Of course, there are plenty of cuckoo people
of course,
out there.
I think you have to have a little bit of
maybe
Coco.
all the cuckoos,
Mm.
if they explored instead of doing something, I don't know, if they instead explored artistry, that would be a good way to
To get all of it out, all the madness, the craziness.
to explore it
Yeah,
properly.
same.
Yeah, to explore it properly in the way to create something instead of destruction, because there's sometimes this busy mind and wild imagination can create destruction. So if all us cuckoos, instead of destruction, go into creation path, that would be amazing. Yes, but it's not everybody's path.
All right.
100%.
I'll take that on that advice, man. I'll agree to disagree, but that's just it. I'm gonna call three artists, three painters from different works, and then you give me just give me a rundown what you think about their art, if you've ever been inspired by them, or just generally what you think about their art. First one will be Basquiat. What do you think about Basquiat's work?
I love it.
Oh yeah,
Love it.
what do you like about it?
What I like about it,
Yeah.
the raw expression, the raw feelings, and the truth about how he feels about what he is and in society, and how, because his work is quite political, and that's brave, and I'm very happy that he found the channel through very famous people like Andy Warhol, for example, to speak his mind up, and actually a lot of people to see his point of view.
Yeah.
Of there were almost none black famous black artists at that time. He was the pioneer of that scale, and so sad that
he's gone. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I only knew about him after he had died. But then again, it's what happens with most of these famous artists. You only hear about them after they're dead and their work becomes like really famous. What about Van Gogh?
You touching up on all cliche artists.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it.
One tortured soul dies young,
and then another
with troubled story with the.
Well, the next one is not necessarily tortured,
and this one is
which is penniless.
Yeah, crazy one.
It's penniless.
I love the colors.
Love the colors.
I love the colors.
Yeah.
So that what I can say about Van Gogh, but not my favorite.
Not your favorite.
I say no.
Yeah. Why is that? Because of how sad it is, or something?
No, there are so many other artists with less scandalous stories that never get the PR that the scandalous lifestyle and stories get out there. Not saying that he's not really special. Yeah, Van Gogh is very special, of course. But
it's just not your
it's
thing.
a PR. I mean, the name is a staple now, and his art is great, but so is art of so many.
Interesting.
Yeah. Same comes to Picasso.
Yeah.
That wasn't the next one?
No. Next one was going to be Da Vinci, but instead of asking you about Da Vinci, except if you want to answer that, but like I want to ask you which artists, because from these two that I mentioned, it doesn't seem like they actually influence any of your work or anything like that. But like, which artists do we not know?
They all did influence my work.
They influence, but which one specifically do you look up to?
Frida Kahlo.
Oh, that's good. Very colorful.
Very colorful, very feminine, very honest. Alphonse Mucha. He was working in kind of decorative style, but it's also quite, it's just beautiful.
Mm.
I love aesthetic beauty. Sometimes in the art world, which I don't like, that thing that sometimes beautiful things, when they're aesthetically pleasing, go into sort of like, oh, this is not real art. Real art has to be ugly and provocative and it's like scary or some sort of unconventional,
Full of pain.
crazy, full of pain. Then it's real art. Uh, yeah, and the beauty too. There is beauty in everything, in that and in that. It's almost like if you what they do with people in art schools, they just try to take the people out of aesthetic beauty, because aesthetic beauty is for hobbyists. Us real artists have to go further. I'm sure you've seen those crazy performance art and so deep that nobody knows what's going on. I don't like, my path is a little different. I want to create worlds that are pleasant to be in, and worlds that encourage curiosity in people, and will to live, to wait for tomorrow and see, and that's the curiosity. That's what it does. To explore more, explore your possibilities as a human, explore the world around you, to be interested in little details in the whole wild world, in everything. That's the plan for my art. And I really don't want it to be taken as not pure art, because if it's pleasant to look at. And there are plenty of messages or thoughts you can actually put in beautiful things.
Yeah.
People, like they will look and absorb.
Yeah.
And I want people to look.
Yeah.
I want people to look.
She wants people to
Yes.
look.
Yes.
I was going to ask you for final words, but I feel like this is like a mic drop moment, because this is your mic drop moment. Or do you have another mic drop moment you wanna drop for us? I feel like it's a good place to end. But I just want to ask you final words. Do you have any last words that you want to say to artists out there that are watching this? Like something you want them to actually take to heart from your own life, or just like generally from something you've seen or heard somewhere?
My advice would be for everyone, not just artists, because again, that's just something I believe we all need to be brave. And from there, artists need to be brave. They must. They must be brave with their ideas. They must be brave exposing their creations to the world. They must be brave approaching people, approaching companies, approaching galleries. They must be brave exploring further and further. But so is every person. Must be brave to speak up, to explore further of what they can do for this world, to be better themselves. It's just like the bravery is my favorite quality, human quality. The second one is curiosity. But those two is curious, and curiosity and bravery is what moved me through life, and I've been places.
Being places, yeah.
Yes, I have.
Well, I would take that to heart myself. Be brave, be curious.
Yes.
Thank you, Maria, for coming. This was
Thank
quite
you.
an insightful conversation. I love having you here. Hopefully you'll come back again and tell us
I
more
will.
stuff. And then maybe
Tomorrow?
you do a live painting for us in the next one.
Yes.
Yeah?
With
Okay.
you.
Yes.
We do it together.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll take that on. But there we have it, folks. Another wonderful episodes of Creative Ones. As usual, follow Anqor Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and as always, Oh, as Maria would say, be brave, be curious. Peace out.